1,000 laughs over a weekend of swell. Vail Comedy Festival. Pet an alpaca or hike a trail. Memorial Day weekend.
Hey everybody, we're live from Vail Comedy Festival. Mike Hammock, he's shifting, very shifty. Mike Hammock here. I'm in a hotel room in the Midwest. I'm touring the Midwest right now, doing Iowa City tonight. So we're doing this like about 2 weeks after the festival, catching up with Mike, hearing all the good stuff from him, the inside info. He's a Colorado guy, so he knew what was going on.
Yeah.
How'd you hear about the fest in the first place, Mike?
How did I hear about the festival? I think some of the comics from Denver had done it the year before. And then I remember I was going through your twice a year thing where you go through like, what festivals am I signing up for? Where do I want to go? And I think this year was pretty light. I signed up for like Boston, Skankfest, I think it's Fountain City, and then like those are all the places that I really wanted to do. Yeah. And Vail is by far the nicest place you could do stand up in. I mean, it's like going on Vegas. A lot of these places, like you go out to like the Midwest and you get put in a weird hotel and you're just like, oh, I'm just doing stand up for a relatively, new group of people. But Vail, it's like a vacation. Vail, it's like, it's nice.
Yeah, it's a fun place to visit. Had you ever been to Vail before the festival?
Yeah, but not in years, not in a long time. I grew up in Colorado, so maybe like in my 20s or something like that. I was telling the last time I was either Vail or Breckenridge. I went into the wrong bar and I did not understand how expensive drinks were. I did not realize that you could spend $400 on like 12 drinks. And so me and my friends we got the bill and we didn't know what to do. So we paid it and then immediately disputed the charge and never went back to that bar or that town. I think that might have been Vail.
Let's say it's Breckenridge.
Probably Breckenridge. Excuse me.
The benefit of anybody listening, we'll go with Breckenridge. Statute of limitations probably ran out on that, anyways.
Oh yeah, that was like 10 years ago.
All right, awesome. So you hear about the festival, you apply, you get in. How do you get up to the town of Vail for the festival?
I drove. I just drove. I'm from the Springs, so it was like hour and a half, 2 hours. It's a nice drive.
Nice, yeah, pretty. You take what did you take, 25 to 70, or did you go like the back way?
No, the back way's a little longer. So 25 to 70 and then just 70 all the way in.
Okay, nice. Awesome. Did you carpool with anybody or just went solo?
Nope, solo, which is honestly, as somebody who has a 2-year-old, the only way I want to travel anymore. Never, dead silence the entire drive, just alone with my thoughts for 2 hours. It was amazing.
That's fantastic. So you get up to Vail. Where do you stay? Do you remember?
I stayed at the Lodge Tower.
That's right. Okay.
With Peter Wong from New York, who's a great comic.
Yeah,
and that was really nice. The pool was busted, unfortunately, which is out of anyone's control. It was the first weekend for like all of the hotels, right? So like it was
it was just after off season. They're just spinning back up. So, but great location. I mean,
oh my gosh, yeah, you could walk to all of the shows. I never had to use my car once. It was really, really nice. Yeah. Definitely by far the best hotel I've ever been put up for a festival, by far. And nice. The only person who had it better than me was I saw Zach Moss's room, and holy cow, that dude, I don't know what he did or where he got light put, but that was incredible. He had a Murphy bed in his room.
No way, really?
He had like a pull down. He had a full kitchen and a terrace. That's something you only see in movies. I don't know.
Incredible.
Whatever he did, I will do for you what he did. Whatever.
Okay. Well, he has a successful podcast and did 4 tapings.
That is true. That's it.
Well, go check it out. Right, you're on YouTube already, listener, viewer, whatever you are that's tuning into this. Go check out the Hippie Not Hippie Pod, the live from Vail Comedy Festival episodes. They're a hoot. Okay, so cool. So you're at Lodge Tower. You got Tower Envy of other.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly the other thing is we were right downtown. He had to walk like quarter of a mile or something like that. We were in it. So I would, for like the second and third night shows, I just popped over to the next hotel. That's where I was doing the stand-up shows. It was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you get into town. Who are some comics you were excited to meet that you didn't know before?
Yeah, Britt Miggs, also I think out of New York, super funny. Spent a lot of time with her. Salma Zaki, who I knew but didn't really know that well, so it was a lot of time with her. Peter Wong out of New York, he's got a lot of great YouTube videos. Man, there were a bunch. My phone is like full up with just different comics I did one show with, or we hung out in the basement. What was the name of the
George?
The room that with all the expensive coats and stuff, the $500.
Oh yeah, Aviator Nation.
Aviator Nation, yeah, that was one of the best hangs. That was a good time.
Yeah, that was a fun show. You hosted one of those, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you did a great job. I can always trust the Colorado comics to do a great job.
It's that Midwestern sense of guilt and politeness. We don't want to ruin anything for anyone.
I think it's the training from the big club in Denver. Everybody comes in that system, and they just, they're reliable. They're just they put in the work, they put in the time, they know how to run a good show. Things move quickly. They don't mess around.
That's true. I don't think I've ever seen a Colorado comic at a festival have a bad set. I've seen people from all over have bad sets occasionally. You just don't get the audience. I think we're nothing but
hosting in particular, or do you
hosting?
mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got great hosts. Who's the best host? Ben Bryant, Steve Vanderplug. They're the best hosts in the world.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Okay, so let's I don't know, tell me about some other festivals you've been to. You've been doing this a long time. You got an album now, right? Or it's coming out?
June 16th, comes out June 16th, so a week from today, I guess. Very excited about
2023 for anybody watching this in the future. Go get it right now.
2023, yes. It'll be available on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, Tidal, all of them. So I've done like the last one I did, I think before this, was Fountain City, which was a lot of fun out in Kansas City. I think that was their first one, and that was a really good time. Well done, but the disadvantage it has over something like Vail is it's so spread out. You're driving, you're taking Lyfts and Ubers. I was talking to somebody who was, who was it? I think it might have been Steve Vanderplug, who was doing a festival, and he ended up running out like $500 worth of Ubers for like the weekend or something like that.
Whoa.
That I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't think I spent more than like what I spent on
a helicopter. He's getting an Uber helicopter.
Dude, I mean, if you got to get across Denver 3 times, that'll run you up. But yeah, that was a nice thing. So Fountain City was great. You just kind of had to bounce around to different parts of the city, which was tough to do. What did I do before that? High Plains is always a ton of fun. That's the hometown one. That's a really, really good one. Just one of the biggest now. It's grown up so much.
Yeah, the talent's incredible. Really impressive. I mean, they had Mike Hammock. What can you say?
Listen, it takes a lot to get me out of Colorado Springs and to go be around people. So it has to be, there's a certain level of quality that I need to match.
A quiet car ride. The bar is very high. Just a quiet car ride.
2 hours alone in the car. And a roommate who doesn't snore. That's all I need in this world. And I'll go just about everywhere.
That's so funny. Okay, so you're emphasizing that the walkability of the Vail Comedy Festival. You were able to walk basically between every venue in your hotel and didn't have to get in your car the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, if I could pitch, if I had to like pitch Vail to somebody or pitch the Vail Comedy Festival, it'd be like, do you want to go to one of the best resort cities in the world? Hang out and not have to drive, go eat at the nice restaurants, hang out with a bunch of great comics, go hiking or go to the Alpine slide or whatever in the afternoon. And then you don't really have to pay for anything. The hotel was covered. A lot of the food we were all hanging out eating, after the show is all covered. Like really, truly, I spent more in Kansas than I did in Vail. So super cool. Really appreciate you.
That's awesome, man. That's great. That would have been the perfect soundbite for the town of Vail, except Alpine Slide is in Breckenridge, Colorado.
I Googled it. There's one nearby. I'm just saying.
There is? Are you sure? I don't know if it's like
you can go do it. It's right down the road.
Thing, but I don't think there's a
And there's no bad parts of town. I know we did have the incident with the pizza that was stolen. I'm sure that's probably the biggest crime that's ever happened. You remember this?
No,
the night we were all at the George or whatever, the underground oh, sorry, I can't remember her name. What was her name?
Brooke, the assistant, volunteer.
Yes.
Yeah.
She went out to get the pizzas you had ordered, and you got 3. And she came back in, and she was kind of like shaking, and she just had 2 pizzas. And we're like, "Where's the one?" Some guy just grabbed it. Some guy just grabbed it and ran off up the hill.
I did not hear about that. She may have eaten it in the corner. We're not sure.
Yeah, so
she may have tucked it away for later.
John was like rats taking slices. But yeah, so that's probably the biggest crime that's ever occurred in Vail. I'm sure the police are still looking at a fucking stolen beef. But other than that, there's no bads. When I do some of these other festivals, it's like, oh yeah, this show's downtown, and this other show's in this neighborhood beneath the highway, and you're kind of you're not really sure where to park your car, kind of a thing. It doesn't happen in Vail. Every place is super nice except for right out in front of that restaurant where they took the pizza.
That's just like 1 a.m. shenanigans that are going to happen anywhere, even in fancy places.
Also true,
I guess. Okay, cool. So you saw some great comedy too. Anybody you want to shout out that was especially funny on stage?
Oh, Bailey Pope was great. I think she's also out of, we made a lot of New York and Colorado. Bailey Pope was awesome. I can't remember Jamel. I can't remember his last name.
Sirleaf. Yeah.
Say what?
Sirleaf.
Sirleaf. That's right. Jamel Sirleaf was awesome.
Funny. New York
and then Salma Zaki. I always keep returning.
Incredible.
She's so consistently funny. Every time I see her, I'm always blown away by how great she is. She's part of the Firecracker Comedy up in Denver.
Yeah, I was just last night. I was at Teehee's Comedy Club in Des Moines and saw her autograph and Kate Strobel's autograph on the wall.
That's awesome.
Cool, little hometown stuff. Yeah, they're killing it. The Firecracker Girls and Salma. I'll double down on that. Every time I saw her do a spot, and I'm not just saying this because I'm interviewing her in about 7 minutes. She was so hilarious. Every single spot she killed. She did so great. So can't wait. Hopefully I can. She's moving to New York. It sounds like she's
good. I hate competition.
So I got to try and get her on some shows before she gets out of town. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what were some of the other venues you got to perform at?
I think I did just about all of them. I did Frost the second day. The first day we did Cucinas. Is that the name of it? Cucina. And then I did the Alpine Nation. And
the Aviator Slide is what you're thinking of.
Is that what I'm thinking? No. Aviation Nation. Sorry.
Aviator. So close.
Aviator.
Rough.
Aviator Nation. And then I did the other show that was in the hotel right across from the Tower Lodge. It was the other room that we did in there. I think I did every room.
Sarah's Lounge, the tiny one.
Yeah.
The short ceilings.
Yep.
And you did Frost, and did you do the mics?
No, I didn't do the mics. One day I was too hungover. I spent the entire day in my room, and then the other day I think I went for a hike.
Nice. Did you go for a hike?
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of just like walk, just face away from Aspen and just walk, and you're on a hike.
Or Vail.
Vail. Yeah, away from Vail, just hike. Yeah. The best part was just telling all the New York comics that they'll probably see a bear and watching their eyes kind of just get big.
That's so funny. That's cool. So let's talk about food. You have any good food while you were in town?
Oh man. So I ate like garbage, which is what I always do when I'm out of town. My wife is like the best cook in the world, and she cooks so healthy. So anytime I'm out of town, I just eat trash. So I ate a lot of late night pizza. I got a lot of like the fries and stuff from George's. There was one day though, one afternoon, I think it was the last day we were there. I was like, I'm gonna get something nice, and I just went to one of the nice restaurants on the main strip, and I just by myself, I just got like a steak and some duck fat fries, and that was really one of the best meals I've had in a long, long time. Super nice.
Treating yourself,
dude. Yeah, it was like that was the most money I spent the entire trip, probably combined with everything, and even that was like $60 or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of options there. That was kind of pleasantly surprised.
You getting ice cream?
A lot of really high-end food, but then there's like some nice kind of like pizza places and just kind of some junk food places that are awesome. Oh, and the the ice cream sandwich place or the ice cream and sandwiches place that's underground. You pointed me to that.
The Local Joe's.
Local Joe's. Yeah, that was really good.
So good. So good. Did you get a sandwich there as well, or just ice cream?
Yeah, I got the sandwich. I got the roast chicken sandwich.
So good. Their sandwiches are incredible. A little pricey, but like worth it.
Yeah,
so
it's also an oven down there. It's 1,000,000 degrees in that place. Yeah. You got to like eat and go.
I'd like to run a comedy show in that place, like a real small one, tiny one.
That'd be dope, but you got to get them to like turn on the AC or do it in the middle of winter or something.
Well, yeah, middle of winter might be better.
I was sweating while I was eating.
Yeah. It's hot in there. You got to go outside. There's beautiful stuff. I mean, the bears and the robbers will take your food, but and it sounds like you had a couple beverages as well. You went around and had some beverages.
That was the other great part, is watching people from sea level come up and drink like 3 Colorado beers and like fall over themselves. I was warning everyone. I was like, I was like trying to explain, like, you got to buy the oxygen at the little corner shops. You got to buy like the electrolyte powder. You got to prepare to drink in the mountains. And some people very clearly didn't listen.
Yeah. All right. So you've been to a bunch of festivals. You've been around comedy a long time. How do we make it even better next year?
Oh man, give me Zach Moss's room. Other than that, I mean, my suggestions to make it better.
By the way, for everybody who's listening, Zach Moss stayed at Manor Vale.
Is that where he stayed? Is that it?
For helping out. So yes, if anybody's curious where this palatial estate was.
Really, truly, guys, go check. If you have a cheap place to stay, go stay there. It is amazing. If I make one suggestion, I would have a bigger closing show. The show you did was, I love all the shows. I was on, like I said, I was on like just about all of them. It was a great time. But if you could find a venue that was like, I don't know, just felt more just like kind of like, we did it and it was kind of complete and everything like that. I think that would lend a lot, and it would kind of make it more like of a bang for a closer. Not that I didn't enjoy everything that was there, but that's what I kind of thought. I was like, man, we need to find.
So let me ask you about that. So we had like 75 to 100 at that closing show. Are you talking like 150, 200, 600, 1,000?
Well, I mean, just I guess as big as you get. I don't really have a real suggestion. That was just the first thing I could think of. But yeah, I mean, if I don't, and I also don't know kind of what the infrastructure up there holds. But man, if you could do,
I mean, there are bigger places. One of the challenges is a little bit in the weeds, but like let's say we had 250 people at the closing show, but our other 19 shows had like 75 to 100. That means if we're selling passes, that means every other show we're going to be like turning away people. There's like a kind of a logistical challenge with that. When you have like, every show is a certain size and you have like a huge show, it makes it a little difficult. For the closing show, I mean, it's better doing it that way for the closing show than because it's on one of the ends of the festival. So maybe people come in for that, or maybe you do it like the night before the festival to get everybody amped up. But it's hard to do it in the middle of the festival. It's just like logistically,
that makes a lot of sense. This is why I don't run festivals. This is why I just go and go and bitch and moan.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I mean, I'd love it if I don't know that I would love it if every show was 200 people, because I really like, one of the things I love about Vail Comedy Festival is, you're in audience, these are people, comedians you've seen on TV. If you're thinking about buying a pass, coming to the festival, you're hanging out with comics that you've seen on TV. And by hanging out, I mean, when you're in the audience, you're like 8 feet away from this comedian. You might be, if you're in the front row, you're like 18 inches from the comedian. You're so close. And then when you go out to lunch or you go out drinking later, those same comics are in the bars and restaurants, and you can really like, it's a very cozy experience for everybody.
Yeah. And honestly, my favorite show, and I think the show that was the most fun, was the one I hosted at the Aviator Nation. And that's a ski shop. That was super cool. Just the stuff they had on the walls. I think I got some really good photos out of there from shout out to Jeff. That was just, I think everyone got like the best pictures and was the best kind of reaction from that room. So
yeah, that was a fun place. All right, Mike. So you got an album coming out June 16th, 2023. Does it have a title?
Charm Offensive.
Charm Offensive with Mike Hammock, everybody. And you're in the Springs. You're regularly at 3E's Comedy Club and all over the place. Anything else?
Down here, Comedy Works. Yeah, no more festivals. I got a kid coming in August, so this is probably the last time anyone will ever see me in relation to comedy. And it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me, man.
For 18 years.
Yeah.
And you'll be back. You'll be storming Norman. All right. Awesome, Mike. Thanks a lot. Any last thoughts for, let's say one of your friends, you tell some friends to apply to the festival, give them a tip for next year. What should they do? Be funny. Nice. I mean, awesome. that's you clearly, that was the requirement to get in. Everybody killed it. Yeah. It was a bunch of killers. All right, everybody, we're saying goodbye live from Vail Comedy Festival. Make sure you tune in next time. Thank you so much to all the businesses in town that supported us. Vail Comedy Festival is every Memorial Day weekend. Comics, you can apply starting November 1st, and audience members, you can get passes starting January 1st.